This might look like a prison, but it's nothing close to ordinary. In reality, it's the most opulent prison the world has ever known. From a dazzling nightclub where Pablo Escobar partied with Colombia's most stunning women to a dreadful torture chamber where his foes would disappear into the shadows. But why did the Colombian government go to such extremes to keep its interior a secret? What is truly hidden inside La Catedral? 10 a.m. Escobar rests in his bed, contemplating the day to come. This is Escobar's cell, but it's a far cry from what you'd typically picture.
It's equipped with a king-size bed, covered with the finest Egyptian linen, encircled by million-dollar artworks, elegant oak furniture, and a floor-to-ceiling bookshelf. Behind the bed, a handmade blue ceramic tile mosaic of the Virgin Mary decorates the wall. His room also functions as one of his offices. Beside his bed is his workstation. Even while incarcerated, the cartel kingpin is managing one of the largest drug empires the globe has ever witnessed. To someone like Escobar, perception is paramount. Even in confinement, Escobar obsessively fusses over his appearance and personal hygiene. He grooms himself meticulously, brushes his teeth for 45 minutes, and due to his large stomach, he checks his weight every single morning. Each day in Pablo Escobar's life is a whirlwind, and this day is no exception.
11 a.m. As he heads to breakfast, Escobar walks past a wanted poster featuring himself and high-level cartel members affixed to the wall. It hangs there like a prize in a brown wooden frame. He has completely accepted his role as a villain, curating a collection of every wanted poster ever released against him. Displayed with arrogance, his kitchen and living area are brand new, outfitted with immaculate marble, gleaming appliances, and sophisticated ornaments. But he isn't dining here. Escobar seldom eats by himself. At La Catedral, he is constantly encircled by his most trusted allies. Escobar proceeds to another section of the prison. As he moves, he passes the quarters of his top lieutenants and sicarios. Like their boss, their rooms are opulently furnished. In the middle of one room is a large circular bed. Where most rooms might have a crucifix, a huge black and white portrait of Escobar hangs, serving as a reminder to his henchmen that he is always observing. It's easy to understand why the Colombian government was so desperate to conceal the prison and its specifics from the public.
Back inside, the boss begins his day. Today, Escobar will dine with his lieutenants within his enormous casino. This room, almost 500 square meters, is where the narco passes the majority of his time. As he takes a seat, Escobar is served his usual breakfast. His personal chef prepares a traditional Colombian dish of rice, eggs, roast beef, fried plantain, arepa, beet salad, and pairs it with a glass of milk. It might be difficult to grasp, but we're kilometers from civilization, high on a rugged jungle mountainside. And yet here, Escobar has ordered an industrial-grade facility suitable for the finest restaurant. It's completely stocked with numerous refrigerators and cooking stations. Just one of these fridges could be priced at over $5,000. The entire kitchen alone cost the boss close to $75,000. At this moment, the chefs and staff are preparing for a standard event in the million-dollar prison. But this evening, something is different. 2 visitors are scheduled to arrive at 5 p.m., and their presence will generate international headlines.
Narrative. 1 p.m. Escobar concludes his meal. Even though he's incarcerated for innumerable crimes, his transnational drug empire continues to operate like clockwork. Escobar gets up and walks to the office. It's likely a good time to explain just how Pablo Escobar landed behind bars. By the 1970s and 1980s, Medellín, Colombia had emerged as the epicenter of the global cocaine trade. Narcotics were flooding out, and an inconceivable amount of money was flooding in. But gangs, organizations, and drug kingpins were fragmented. Escobar, being the shrewd drug lord that he was, recognized this as an opportunity. He employed his charisma and influence to unify all these disparate groups under his leadership. With internal conflicts resolved, the Medellín cartel could amass billions of dollars annually. But all of this carried a price, a lethal price. Back in his gilded cage, Escobar pauses before entering the office. He has a telescope mounted just outside, aimed at his family's residence down the mountain. Escobar purchased this house near the prison to maintain a close watch on his family and to make visits easier. His wife, Maria, whom he wed when he was 26 and she was 15, resided there with their 2 children, Sebastian and Manuela.
The choice of location for the prison was tactical, providing more than just a stunning view. He had spent countless hours as a youth wandering these hills, meaning he knows the terrain like the back of his hand. The altitude provides an additional layer of security, enabling him to survey anyone nearing the prison in case he needs to make a swift escape. As Escobar peers through the telescope, his henchman gives him a telephone. His daughter is on the line. She is looking back up at him through her own binoculars, speaking to her father. "When can I visit the dollhouse?" she inquires. A life-size dollhouse is located just feet from her dad's room. Just one of the many details that makes this prison so bizarre. A little girl's playhouse, though far from typical, in the same facility where, just beyond its confines, Escobar is preparing to give some very grim commands. Escobar enters his office and sits. Before him, a white Italian marble desk. Behind him, a matching bookshelf. His entire office, complete with black leather sofas and elegantly adorned drapes, appears like it belongs in a 5-star hotel. But today, Escobar has minimal time to admire his environment. On his mind is just one thing: betrayal.
As noted earlier, the ascent of Escobar's cartel came at a heavy price. Escobar had commanded the assassinations of innumerable people, including very prominent political and business figures. He was also accountable for terrorist acts, such as the bombing of a commercial airliner, killing hundreds. His massive criminal enterprise made him a target for both authorities and rival criminals. This made him paranoid beyond measure. Escobar perceived enemies in every shadow, even where none were present. At his desk, Escobar lifts the phone and dials Fernando Galeano. He is enraged. He had instructed all the capos of the cartel to start sending him $500,000 weekly. Disobeying a direct command from Pablo Escobar is not something many people do and survive, at least not intact. Escobar and Galeano argue, and they both say many things Galeano will come to regret. Finally, Escobar demands that he and his associates come to the prison immediately. He slams the phone down. 5 p.m. Beyond the prison walls, a few cars ascend toward the prison's entrance. Inside one are 2 of the world's most renowned soccer players, René Higuita, the goalkeeper for the Colombian national team. Beside him, the legendary Diego Maradona, the pride of Argentina and soccer itself.
They are not here merely for a friendly conversation with Escobar. They are preparing to play a private match on one of the 2 state-of-the-art soccer fields located behind the prison. The primary soccer field, nearly the size of the prison compound, is reportedly one of the finest in the city. The floodlights surrounding it are so intense that people in Medellín, dozens of kilometers away, could tell when Escobar was holding a match. Diego Maradona would later recall, "We faced off playing as forwards for the respective teams, and the drug lord managed to score several goals." After the match, Escobar and his visitors proceed to the heart of the compound, the Grand Casino Hall, where the kingpin spends much of his leisure time. Spanning 450 meters, this enormous room is more than a simple gaming center. The casino hall is fully outfitted to satisfy every desire. 2 pool tables occupy one corner, along with a ping-pong table and various casino-style gaming stations. At its center is a small altar devoted to his cherished archangel Saint Michael. It is said Escobar prays to the saint for protection, trusting the divine to shield him from the law despite escalating international efforts to dismantle his empire. But the room isn't just for fun and games. It serves an important practical purpose too. At the rear, there is storage for his and his lieutenant's prize motorbikes. Ironically, half of the hall is enclosed by prison bars. But at La Catedral, these bars are not designed to keep anyone in. They are a literal mockery of Colombian and global authorities. You got me, Escobar implies. The bars act as a reminder that even as a captive, no one dictates his freedom. He moves in and out of his compound, experiencing a life of luxury and enjoyment, even while ostensibly in captivity.
7 p.m. The hall resounds with the sounds of laughter, clinking glasses, and loud conversations. The tables are moved aside to convert the spacious hall into a vibrant dance floor. Music blasts from the speakers, and the attendees, a mixture of sicarios, capos, soccer players, and Escobar's inner circle, socialize with the women as the celebration intensifies. The party is now in full swing. Escobar, renowned for his love of a good time, indulges without inhibition. Drinks are poured freely, whiskey, rum, and champagne, and dense cigar smoke fills the air. The narco kingpin weaves through the crowd, sometimes taking the spotlight on the dance floor. At other times, he sits back, observing with his glass lifted, a satisfied smile on his face. But even amid the opulence and excess, nobody can disregard the tension in the atmosphere. Escobar is a man who lives dangerously, and everyone present knew his mood could change in a second. As the hours passed, the feeling of the evening gradually began to shift. 10 p.m. Another group of cars arrives at the compound's gates. Their approach is much quieter. As they enter, one of Escobar's sicarios informs him. The carefree expression on his face vanishes, replaced by something far darker. The music plays on. The laughter still resounds through the hall. But Escobar's mind is consumed with unspeakable thoughts. The facade Pablo Escobar has maintained for the last few hours is about to fall.
He exits the casino hall, escorted by a small contingent of his most loyal men. The music and laughter recede behind them as they head toward an isolated section of the compound, the infamous torture chamber. Inside is Fernando Galeano. Earlier that day, Escobar had summoned him, and now the moment of reckoning had arrived. Galeano stood anxiously. The room itself is a sharp contrast to the opulence of the rest of the facility. Cold, bare walls enclose them, and the dim lighting is like something from a film. This chamber is the final destination for anyone who double-crosses the drug kingpin. Escobar enters, his demeanor frigid. He wastes no time. With a steely gaze, he confronts Galeano about his refusal to pay the $500,000 weekly tribute. Galeano attempts to plead his case. He doesn't realize his fate was determined the moment he stepped through the front door. Escobar's men subdue him.
No one knows precisely what occurs next, though horrific rumors circulate. Only the result is known. Galeano will not leave La Catedral alive. Escobar leaves the room, and his guards perform the execution. When it's finished, the body is swiftly disposed of. This is not the first instance Escobar has handled betrayal in this manner. You do not reach the top of a global drug empire by being pleasant. He has created innumerable enemies on his journey, and his paranoia has only intensified over time. Galeano's demise is just one chapter in a lengthy history of violence and retribution. Escobar's paranoia is not baseless. He is aware the enemies he has made on the outside are waiting. The political figures he had assassinated, the rival cartels, the police agencies across numerous countries. Every day he stays free, the target on his back gets bigger. It was this exact fear that motivated him to surrender. This morning are calling the surrender of trafficker Pablo Escobar a major victory in the war on drugs. Securing himself inside La Catedral was, in truth, his safest choice. Here, encircled by his own men and fortress-like walls, he could maintain his operations without constantly looking over his shoulder.
Narrative.
When Escobar returns to the casino hall, the party has not skipped a beat. The music is still booming, the guests are dancing, and the ambiance is as animated as before. Escobar merges seamlessly back into the revelry, as though his hands are not stained with blood. To the uninformed observer, it's just another night of indulgence. However, those closest to him understand the truth. Betrayal is never permitted, and the price of defiance is always lethal. No one is secure in this profession, and Escobar's time is also approaching. 2 a.m. Escobar returns to his room, oblivious to the issues he has just triggered. His enemies have unified against him, making escape his only choice. The government, enraged by another murder, demands his relocation to a high-security prison. His own allies, now his foes, fear for their lives as well. Escobar, a ruthless murderer, escaped from his own luxury prison when authorities attempted to move him to another jail. On July 22, 1992, La Catedral would once more function as designed. As the army nears, Escobar slips through the shoddily built fence and wall, vanishing into the night. He serves only 13 months of his 5-year sentence.
A year and a half later, a special police unit traces him to a safe house. Following a rooftop pursuit, a gunfight breaks out. A bullet penetrates his head, killing him instantly. Pablo Escobar, arguably the most dangerous man on earth, is dead. He is only 44 years old. The prison, conversely, endures for a few more years, but it too begins to deteriorate. Stories of hidden treasure prompt some to venture up the mountainside, sneak in, and start pillaging the compound, taking it apart piece by piece. By the late 90s, the entire structure was gone. It's as if the palace had never been there at all. Colombia depicted Pablo Escobar's incarceration as a symbol of strict control, presenting his arrest as a significant victory in the nation's war on drugs. To preserve this image, the media was heavily managed, disclosing little about the opulent reality inside his prison to prevent scrutiny. The location where La Catedral once stood is now a monastery and nursing home for low-income senior citizens. While it was once the place where the drug lord constructed a castle of sin and torture, it is now a place of rest and healing. Still, there is no erasing its dark past, and its inhabitants undoubtedly still recall the turbulent era of Pablo Escobar, El Patron.